I mentioned in a previous video that I was making kind of a two film or 2 episodes in the Lake District, and produced one at Crummock Water, and then the next film I produced was actually in Wales, and I explained that things didn't go exactly as planned in the second part of my Lake District trip. But I asked people to comment as if they wanted to publish, so here it is, it's published. But I want to explain what the problems were. First, the biggest problem, I made a really daft decision. So sunset on Cat Bells, which is the mountain I walked up, was due to about 8 o'clock. For some reason, I don't know why, I had a kind of brain fart or whatever. I walked up Cat Bells at like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So I ended up maybe 3 hours, kind of sat on the top of Cat Bells waiting for something to happen. I got frustrated. Looking back on the film, there were probably some conditions where I could have taken a couple of images, but I was so frustrated because I'd been there so long. I just didn't take anything, and then I walked down in the rain. It was a bit miserable. The second reason is the next day, you'll see in the film, I did a bit of camping, got up the next morning, anticipating going out and doing some more photography. The weather was due to clear up, but then got a message from my wife to say she was at home and not very well. So I packed everything up and came home. So the film coming up doesn't involve any photography, but it's a trip out into the hills, and there's an image of me packing away my tent. If you stick around to the very end, I've got an announcement to make at the very end of the film as an incentive for you to watch all the way through, or to scrub all the way through and see what I'm going to say. Part 2 of my day in Cumbria. So you can already see the weather's a little bit different than it was this morning. So my previous video that I shot at Crummock Water, you will see bright sunlight, but clouds have come across. But the forecast is for about sunset for the clouds to clear, or at least to break up a bit, so I'm keeping my fingers crossed. So just to give you an idea where I am, that's Keswick, and this is Derwent Water, looking down into the jaws of Borrowdale, and then that peak there is my target, Cat Bells. So you can, if you don't know the Lake District, you can maybe have a look on the map. But Keswick is a well-known town, and Cat Bells is probably one of the best-known hills or Wainwrights in the Lake District. So it's a little bit like a Hell's Skelter. There's 2 lumps. So if you ever look at it from across the lake, you see kind of like 2 camel humps, one bigger than the other, but this is the second one, and then up to the top. So my aim is be up there for sunset-ish, and hopefully cast some nice lights. So the kind of the big mountain over there is Skidder, or Skidder as some people say, and I'm hoping it turns out all right. Wainwright is, sorry, lots of people know what Wainwright is, but some people won't. Wainwright, very famous author of guidebooks to hill walking in the lakes, and in fact the mountains in the lakes are called Wainwrights after him. And he said Cat Bells was a mountain that was fit for your grandmother to stroll up on a Sunday afternoon. Well, not my grandmother. Well, she has been dead for about 30 years, but that's by the by. It is quite tough going. But just get up there, and then it dips down a bit, so it's a bit uphill and then down. And I'll speak to you soon. Made it to the summit, and you can see with the extra coat and the hat, it's a bit chilly up here. But this is the top of Cat Bells. The cairn is pathetic. It's like 6 rocks or something. But you can probably, I'll just spin you around in a second, but you can probably see why it's a popular mountain. So you've got nice views into the Newlands Valley, that's Maiden Moor, and into the Newlands Valley, round towards Bassenthwaite Lake up in the distance, Skidder, Keswick, Derwent Water, and round to the jaws of Borrowdale. So what I'm hoping to do, if the weather plays ball, is to take some images that way towards Skidder, showing kind of the kind of secondary peak of Cat Bells, and this here is called Swinside. But the sun will be setting, or the sun will be over in that direction, so I'm hoping get some nice light coming this way onto Skiddaw, or if not, maybe sun shining in Newlands Valley. So it's about 2.5 hours, 3 hours till actual sunset, but I'm hoping for some better conditions before then. I'm just looking off into the distance. So the wind's blowing this way, so I think the clouds are going in this direction. So it looks a little bit brighter. There's a few spots of rain on the way up. But yeah, I've got about 2 hours to kill. So I could, I suppose, if I was feeling energetic, I could head up to Maiden Moor and back. But I'm not feeling that energetic. But in fact, last time I was here, I was with my brother, and when we got up to Maiden Moor, absolute blizzard. Real kind of couldn't see a hand in front of you, only for kind of 10 or 15 minutes. But we got a bit cold. But I think I'll find a spot out of the wind, have a snack, have a drink, and keep my fingers crossed that the light's going to come out. At the moment, it's just grey, so it's not really photogenic. Everything looks a bit bland. But I'm hoping that the break in the clouds that's promised is going to show up. So speak to you soon. About an hour has passed since I last spoke to you. I'm still on Cat Bell Summit. Seen a couple of people, had a little bit of a chat. A lot of flies around. But I'm still waiting for, let's just check the time. Yeah, 5:45. Still waiting for the cloud to break. And this only really works if the cloud breaks. So although it's beautiful up here and dramatic, and you know, the Newlands Valley, this is the Newlands Valley, is stunning. With a heavy cloud, taking images is kind of neither here nor there, just look dull. So it's only going to work if the cloud breaks. There's been the occasional hole appeared in the cloud and a few bits of sunlight dappled here and there, but kind of nothing worth writing home about. So I guess the waiting game continues. The weather forecast, I can get interesting. I can get 4G up here, so but keep checking the weather forecast. The weather forecast is still saying that the cloud is going to break before 7 o'clock. So I guess I've got kind of an hour and a quarter to kill. But if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. I had to walk up. I'll have to walk back down again. But how it goes sometimes. Had a fantastic morning this morning, and just keep my fingers crossed it happens, but we'll see. It's now 7:10 and still no action. Other than met some nice people who've been coming up, a couple of dogs, not people who are dogs, a couple of proper dogs, but still no light in the valley, and it's really frustrating because I'll just come up to the summit and show you. Ooh. Bit of light falling there, and there's been light falling on and off over in kind of the Borrowdale area, but nothing in this valley. In fact, it's just started to rain a very little bit. So I've been here a long time now, starting to get a bit bored, a bit frustrated. The rain coming, kind of, it's not helping. But I'm going to stick out a bit longer. I can feel the rain falling now, but equally there's some lighter sky. So I'll give it maybe another half an hour. And then, oh, there's quite a lot of rain falling on Skiddaw. But I'll give it maybe another half an hour and then I'll have to head down. And what will probably happen then is the sky will clear and I'll be really annoyed. But yeah, that's how it goes sometimes, how it goes. Quite a lot of rain over there. Hope it doesn't come this way. Hope it goes round me. I think it's probably time to call it a day up here. Nothing's happened. So I've spent a good few hours. I'm not even sure how long I've been up here now. It's about 7:45, so maybe 3.5 hours. And kept on promising and promising and promising that the cloud was going to break, and it broke over there, and it broke over there, and it broke over there, but it never broke where I needed it to break. So a bit frustrated, but that's the way these things go sometimes. Doesn't always work out as I or anybody planned. Still hear a cuckoo calling down in the valley, which is nice, and I've had nice views, but it's starting to get cold now, and the sun is over behind a big bank of cloud. I've just come down a little bit off the peak to get out of the wind, because it's starting to get a bit chilly. So camera's set up still, but I think I'll go and pack up, head down. I've obviously got to walk back down, so it's probably about an hour walking back, and then I think I'll what I might do, I've never done it before, so it'd be a real experiment. I might, because it's still, the weather forecast still saying the cloud is going to clear. I might try some starlight photography. I've never done it. I've never tried it. I've never even experimented, so it would be a real experiment. But I might give it a go if the cloud's clear and we get a clear sky. But at the moment, it doesn't look too promising, because, you know, if I show you, there's a little bit of colour in the sky, but yeah, you wouldn't be able to do star photography in this. But I might give it a go, see if the conditions are right. But we'll see. It'll be difficult for me to film though in the dark, so don't know. See how it goes. Well, it's the morning after the night before, as they say, and just got up about half an hour ago. Had my breakfast, got to brush my teeth, probably down near the river. But I think that I can't remember exactly the last piece of video I filmed, because it was last night, yesterday evening. I think I was on top of Cat Bells, and I was saying that kind of the weather hadn't worked out. I hadn't taken any photos. I was going to do some star photography. Well, as I came down from Cat Bells, it started to rain, so I had to put my waterproofs on, and it went cloudy, so it stayed like this most of the evening. And I assume all night. I didn't get up at like 3 AM to check or anything, but I can't imagine it cleared and then it's gone cloudy again. So no go. I also tried to do a couple of images with my tent kind of illuminated with a light inside, but I don't know whether it's the light's not strong enough or the tent material is too thick, but it just wouldn't work. I just couldn't get it to, you couldn't really see that it was a tent. It was absolutely pitch black. So I had my head torch on, fell over a couple of rocks and stuff, but was just couldn't make out that it was actually a tent. So that was an experiment that didn't work. But the weather forecast for today is for this cloud to break up, so I'm keeping my fingers crossed that that'll happen. I've had my breakfast, go and brush my teeth, and see how the rest of the day goes. Oh, and pack the tent up, of course. But not a bad spot. It's lovely to have the sound of the river just kind of lulling in the background. But right, pack my tent up and then let's see how the day goes. So that was the film. Sorry, it ends rather abruptly, but hopefully explanation I gave at the beginning, you understand why. But I should anyway. Anyway, it's out there for people to see, and be interesting in your comments. I'll stick in an image now, here, of Cat Bells that I took on another day, and you can see why Cat Bells is such an attractive place to photograph, although this image was taken in the middle of the winter. Anyway, so that announcement, I do a drum roll. Oh, actually, there's a drum up there. I'll do a drum roll. It's a bit pathetic, isn't it? What I've decided to do is offer some of my images as downloadable wallpaper via my website. So I'll start, after each film, I'll start to put a link up in the description below where you can log on to my website and download one of the images that I've taken during the filming process. I know it works because Rob tried it out for me. Thank you very much, Rob, for trying that out. There is a password, so you'll have to look at the link and click on the link and also use the password that I'll put in the description. I'm not going to leave them up forever, so I'll put the wallpaper up. It might be there a week or two, and then it'll be replaced by something else. So there might be a choice of 2 or 3 wallpapers at any one time. But it's something to say. Thanks very much for tuning in, for watching, for sticking around to the end and seeing this announcement. Hope you enjoy the wallpaper. Feel free to put it on your computer or whatever you want to do. And thanks very much for your support. Thanks for watching. Thanks for all the comments on previous films. I'd be interested to see what the comments are on this film. And see you again soon. Cheers. Thanks very much.